Hello and welcome to my discussion on Module 10. So this is auditing Baguio's zero waste pipeline using a theory of change diagnostic of municipal waste metrics. So Baguio City has an ambitious goal, which is zero waste. But how do we know if it's actually working? So let's take a look at the evidence. We have here municipal indicators, which show that a large-scale operational victory. So the city reports a 69% waste diversion rate, meaning that most of what used to go straight to the landfill is now being recycled or composted. After households were required to segregate recyclables and start backyard composting, the daily trash dropped by 50 tons. And the city projects up to 75% savings on hauling costs. On the technical side, Baguio's environmental recycling system can process nearly 45% of bio-waste. This means it makes use of several um, strategies such as black soldier fly facilities, upcycling programs, BIDA barangay portfolios, no segregation, no collection policy, and a single-use plastic ban. But there's a catch. The residual, non-recoverable waste still makes up 76% of the total waste. And an earlier study by Lunag et al. Found that the real diversion rate for bio-waste and recyclables was only around 23%, which is far lower than the 69% headline figure. And you see here that those numbers don't work together and would be an excess reporting. So the collection is working, the mechanisms. However, the human components we could say as failing. Even the Commission on Audit flagged this gap, which recommends a stronger information campaign and faster progress on proper sanitary landfill. So initially, we see that the diagnosis would show us that the processing operates at high capacity and the infrastructures are there. However, the communication and source reduction behavior are flagged as critical. So we now check the theory of change framework from outputs, outcomes, and impacts. So we see here that there is a problem because the high diversion percentages and tonnage drops are real, but they're not proof that households have truly changed their habits of that we're actually close to the goal of zero waste. So let's check out the outputs. We see here they're supposed to be indicators of number of households reached by the IEC campaign or segregation campaign, infrastructure coverage. Are they being serviced by the said facilities? And we have to look at the volume of the waste processed. Okay. So they show that these actions show that the city is acting, but they cannot yet measure that the residents are complying. So we take a look at the outcomes. We see here missing outcome indicators. They would mask the reality of ground level behavior. You see outcomes, which are real compliance rates and not just self-reported ones, will show us that the programs have actually reached that level. Next is the impact. So by 2032, that is the target for 80% of the city's waste to be diverted. So we have to see the sustained diversion rates over time, and this has to be tracked consistently. And we must have indicators such as sustained year-over-year diversion, financial efficiency, so how the savings are actually used, and the ultimate target of 80% waste reduction. There is also an anomaly because 20% of Baguio's waste comes from tourists, and these are not reached by resident-focused campaigns. And most often, the tourists are blamed for the surge of waste volume. So, but there's no any M&E plans to account for this blind spot. And therefore, this still gives us continuous influx of unsegregated waste. So a recommendation would be the following M&E architecture. We must have output tracking, the typical metrics that we see, outcome verification such as spot checks or verifiable reductions in the tonnage, impact auditing, year-on-year metrics, and assumption testing, especially during peak tourist seasons. So zero waste isn't just a slogan, it's a target that needs measurement. So the numbers shown uh, demonstrate real progress, but there is also real work ahead. So initially, we must redefine what success means. And it's the infrastructures are only half of the story. We must consider human behavior and the unmeasured demographics such as the tourists. So zero waste is an exercise in human compliance and not just municipal collection. Thank you. This is Melissa May Buado.